Alabama football returns one of the most deep defensive back rooms in the entire country. And there's one guy we affectionately like to call the Flip that we're going to talk about. Stick around. You know the drill. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome into Way Offside. Let's do the dang thing real quick. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video. While you're at it, just go ahead and hit the notification bell. Do it. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it helps out the channel tremendously as we bring you content, not contact. I don't know what contact is. This is your favorite place for Alabama football. Everything right here on YouTube. We bring it all to you, conglomerate, all in one place. You don't have to go anywhere else because it's right here, baby. And if we don't do it, we bring in the guys that do. We kind of do a little analysis here and there, but we're not the best at it. So what do? We go and bring in a guy like Clint Lamb. We're not on 3. So what do? We go and get a 5-star linebacker to come and do an interview with us. Right before and right after he commits to Alabama, baby. Anyway, stick around. Stick around for more recruiting stuff. I know you guys like the recruiting stuff. We've got some stuff coming in the next 2 weeks that I think you'll really, really enjoy. But we're 40 days removed from the college football season, and one of the most hyped units on earth this year is Alabama secondary. We all know the names: Damani Jackson, Bray Hubbard, Brown. Just a ridiculously deep cornerback and safety groups at the University of Alabama. Well, another name that not a ton of people are talking about that I think he would be very young, but could help Alabama, could catapult that secondary to the next level, maybe even elite. We're going to talk about it a little bit today. And we're mainly going to talk about him because as we get closer to the season, we're going to talk about a lot of these players. And we're trying to grab names that you may not remember or may not be thinking about. They're not the names that are making a ton of headlines. And this is one of those. And this guy's significant for several reasons. But the most important reason to me is, as an Alabama fan, I'm not ashamed to say Alabama in the past year and a half has taken some L's to Michigan in the postseason, and they've taken them in recruiting. But there was one bright spot that I remember, and that was back in November of 2024 when Alabama flipped 4-star cornerback Ivan Taylor. For those of you who don't know Ivan Taylor, the guy, he's a freshman out of Winter Garden, Florida, played at West Orange High School. DB, man, a top 100 player in the country. I believe he was ranked the second safety in the state of Florida. I'm trying to remember. Let me just look it up. Easier if I just look it up. He was the number 62 overall recruit nationally via 247. That's what we were looking for. This was a huge get for Bama. He's not only did he flip his commitment from Michigan, he was verbal to Michigan. He flipped it to Alabama. Now, Cotton? He's a freshman. This is a very deep room. Do you think he's going to get some significant playing time? I think he will. When I say significant, I think any playing time is significant, but I do believe that he'll get some decent reps. Is he going to be a day one starter? Is he going to be part of that 6-man rotation back there? Maybe. We'll see. But what's interesting to me about Taylor, all the joking about taking L's to Michigan aside, is he's not necessarily as big as some of these other corners that we're seeing Kalen DeBoer and his staff recruit. He's 6 foot, 194 pounds. He's a big body, but he's not as long as some of these other guys. But he is rangy. He's very rangy. Obviously, he has some NFL bloodlines. I'm reading this directly from RolledTide.com, just so we're clear. He was a consensus 4-star recruit, top 100 player by every major outlet. He was the number 41 overall for 247's top 247 list, and tabbed as, like we said, the second-ranked safety and 5th-rated overall player in the state of Florida. Now, let's talk evaluations for Ivan Taylor. What I see when he pops off the screen, like I said, initially is that he's very, very rangy, very, very high IQ as well. I think that his measurements could be questionable, but he fits that prototypical Nick Saban cornerback role. Nick Saban didn't really, I don't know if he didn't like them, but he didn't really recruit tall cornerbacks, tall safeties. But I think the most impressive thing about Ivan Taylor is, the guy's almost 200 pounds now, and his speed. He runs a 4.5 40. I think his shuttle is like 4.25. So he's very quick footed. He's a lot of agility, but he's also rangy. And that's what people see at the position. That's what we noticed. Some of these guys, Bray Hubbard, to me, extremely rangy. He's all over the field. It's hard to throw over him. It's hard to throw around him. I think Ivan Taylor eventually will be a guy who's very, very similar. 247, I think, said they reminded him of Antoine Winfield out of Tampa Bay. Very competitive at the catch point. He does a nice job turning his head to find the football via Andrew Ivins. He's an open field tackler who launches with legs and gets ball carries on the ground. So that's what we want. I don't necessarily know that he's an island guy like we're used to. Alabama kind of always had that one cornerback who operated over on an island on one side of the field. But I think this kid, as we grow into the season, maybe get some experience under his belt at this level of football, but I think this kid is eventually going to be a fan favorite. I think that he will be a multi-year starter for Alabama. 247 has him projected one day, second, third round of the NFL draft. I think he could be a guy that, if he puts in the right work, takes on the right coaching, gets with the right staff, he could maybe bolster his way up into that first round conversation. Coach Mo is definitely a guy who can help him get there. Looking at his film again, like I said, I think the best part of his game that I see is just his quickness and that agility. It's almost like a wide receiver play, especially at his size, his weight. It's almost like a wide receiver playing cornerback, which I've always wondered why more coaches don't look for that wide receiver-esque type body to play cornerback. I get it. You want a bigger guy for mismatches and things like that. But I think that Taylor is kind of a hybrid and a mix of both. So let's look at his high school athletic background. Again, this is coming from 247. They've got all the information here on their website. So we're just going to read it clean off of here. He finished his junior campaign in 2023 with 45 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, 4 forced fumbles, a pass breakup, and one interception. I will say that just looking through some of the commentary about Ivan Taylor, there weren't a lot of quarterbacks throwing his way in high school. I expect that to eventually be the case in college as well. This is we're talking about son of former, Pittsburgh Steeler Ike Taylor. And so I think, the pedigree's there. Everything's there for this kid to really make a name for himself in Tuscaloosa. And he's just one of those players that not a lot of people are talking about. Alabama right now, Alabama fans are talking a lot about some of these freshmen coming in, Chuck McDonald, Dijon Lee. And that's great. Justin Hill, everybody's really excited for these kids. But there's a lot of other kids who I think are going to be just as impactful, and Ivan Taylor is one of them. So, hey, thanks for sticking around with me. We're going to be talking about a lot more guys as we get closer to the season. This is basically what we're going to do leading up into the season. We'll be talking about a lot of our picks and doing schedule breakdowns here very soon. I believe we're going to start that this week on Thursday. We're also going to have 5-Star Edge on the show, 2027 commit. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Jabarius Garor, he'll be on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. So please set an alarm, set a reminder. Don't miss that. We'll see you there. Thanks for sticking around with me. You guys are the best as always. I hope that you're having a very, very blessed Monday. We're hard, heavy start to the week. Nowhere to go but down here, down straight to the weekend. That didn't sound as motivating and positive as I wanted it to. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee to Roll Tide.